Welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be looking at the NOVOO gallium nitride 100-watt charger. And before I go into the details of this charger, I want to show you firstly a 96-watt laptop charger that I have. So if we put these side by side, you immediately see the difference. I mean, 96 watts and this is 100 watts. It's nearly 3 times the size of this equivalent 100-watt gallium nitride charger. Gallium nitride is a material that's starting to be used for semiconductors in chargers, and it actually produces less heat than silicon, meaning that components can be closer together. So basically a charger can be a lot smaller while maintaining the same or better performance as a traditional charger, that one there that I showed you a bit earlier. And another positive is that gallium nitride chargers also have a longer lifespan due to this heat efficiency. So the NOVOO RG100 is compatible with a wide range of devices, including Mac laptops, iPhones, most Android phones, and laptops that accept USB-C charging. You can even charge your flashlights or other smaller electronics as long as it accepts that USB-C cable. So what's in the box? Basically, you get the charger itself, pretty small, and NOVOO also include this 100-watt braided cable, USB-C to USB-C cable. It's 1 meter long. I've got a bunch of those already. And you also get this instruction manual here. This is the box that it comes in. Okay, pretty basic sort of box. And yeah, you can pause the video, especially if you want to check out some of the specifications here in terms of the output per port. And it does change depending on which ports you're using at the same time, or if you're using one port only. So some of you may have seen my last review video of the RG120, and this is the 120-watt version of essentially the same charger. Okay, it's the same technology, and I did some quick calculations, and you can see here the RG100, it's smaller, but it's 22% smaller than the RG120 and more than 30% lighter as well at 200 grams. I did a bit of traveling recently, and I found that the RM120 would fall out sometimes when plugged into an under-seat port on a kind of bumpy bus ride. But yeah, with the RM100, as you can see, it is shorter and looks like it's got a better sort of center of gravity. So yeah, definitely less likely to fall out if you're plugging it into a kind of unstable port. But yeah, pretty much both of these are good if you're not moving them around. So I just brought out the box again so you can see the dimensions of this charger as well as the weight there. It's pretty small and light. And I brought out one of my Samsung chargers here, and this one's rated at 45 watts, 100 watts to the left. So, I mean, if you look at them side by side, I mean, it's pretty much almost the same size, but you get more than double the output from the RG100. Weight-wise, the RG100 feels a little heavier, but not significantly heavier, surprisingly, than the Samsung. So, yeah, I think NOVOO have done a really good job in keeping the size down, keeping it light, and yeah, just having this all-in-one design so that I don't need to be carrying around different chargers, because this one here, I could potentially charge my laptop with it, but yeah, it's not going to have enough output. It's only got one port, so I can't charge other devices at the same time. So a little close-up of the RG100, and yeah, you can see there's 3 ports here, so C1, C2, and USB-A, and like I mentioned before, the output of each port varies depending on which ones you're using. And yeah, like I said, you can sort of pause the video here and just look at those specs if you want to find out the combination. But essentially, if you use one port, so if you use the first or the second USB-C port, you get 100 watts maximum charging, and that USB-A port has 22.5 watts maximum charging. I think the RG100 would pair really well with the Novu RM14. So this is a 14-in-1 dock that supports PD 100-watt charging. So yeah, 6 USB ports. Also supports 3 external displays, a couple of HDMI ports, and a DP port there as well, 3.5mm headphone jack and mic, card reader, even got an Ethernet port on there. So yeah, if you're looking for a very small multifunctional dock while traveling, this is also a great option that can pair well. So some considerations to keep in mind with the RG100. There's no LED indicators on this thing to tell whether the charger is on or not. And yeah, I normally find those annoying, especially in the dark, when you're trying to get to sleep, quite sensitive to ambient light. But yeah, I think a small red one would have been good just to know whether the thing's on or not. The second consideration is with these gallium nitride chargers, when you already have a device charging and you decide to charge another device, so add on another device, basically the power will be cut to the first device for a short period of time. Eventually the power is redistributed, and yeah, you got to wait a few seconds for that. It is a little bit annoying, but not a big issue for me. And yeah, like I said, it's common with gallium nitride chargers. I'd just say if you're someone that's using maybe like a dummy battery on a recording device, a camera or something like that, something you have to keep in mind because power will be cut. So yeah, I'd suggest getting everything connected up first, and yeah, not fiddling around with it afterwards once you've started recording. The third consideration is that you're going to be losing out on 20 watts of power compared to the RG120. For me, this is not a significant difference at all, as I'm going to be, charging a laptop, maybe my phone, maybe some other device like a flashlight, that kind of thing. So it's not a huge deal. And if you need that little bit of extra power, of course, you can get the 120 version. I'd suggest getting the 100 though overall, because it's just significantly lighter, smaller, and yeah, for most people, it's not going to make a difference, that 20 watts. The fourth consideration is that Novu have only included one USB-C to C charging cable. In the RG120, they included a couple in there, which I was pretty happy with. So yeah, it's not a deal breaker, but they are cheap enough. Would it be nice to have both? Just make sure if you do get another one, it supports 100-watt charging as well, just in case. Overall, I've had a look around, and the NOVOO RG100 is probably one of the best deals you can get on a 100-watt gallium nitride charger. It's amazing that NOVOO even includes one of those braided 100-watt USB-C cables. And yeah, when you compare it with a few other options out there, they just quite bare bones. You get the charger, that's pretty much it. And yeah, overall, I think the 100 watts does hit that sweet spot where it's powerful enough to fast charge all your devices, but yeah, small enough to put in your pocket, your backpack, that kind of thing. And coming from something like this, there's no way I'm going to be carrying around a 100-watt laptop charger again now that I have this one. And I like how it feels sturdy, lightweight, and especially compared to standard chargers of the same rating. And I need to travel for work from time to time, and I do go on longer holidays as well. So for me, this is the perfect travel charger, as it can easily fit in my backpack, charge all my devices quickly on the go. When I'm carrying around stuff, when I go on hikes as well, and I'm on buses, just that little bit of weight does make a big difference on long hikes. And yeah, usually when I'm on a plane, don't carry much, just a simple carry-on backpack. So any reduction in weight there also makes a difference, so I can fit other stuff in my luggage. And yeah, on my last trip, I actually brought this 120-watt one, the RG120. So yeah, it was a lifesaver. And having either of these just means you don't have to carry around 3 separate chargers.